This video is brought to you by CyberGhost VPN. Did you know that when you surf the internet, your information is exposed? This would stop happening thanks to CyberGhost that keeps it safe by hiding your IP and encrypting your data in such a way that you remain anonymous without anyone knowing what you do online, not even CyberGhost itself. In addition, thanks to CyberGhost, you can access all the content blocked in your country, YouTube videos, websites, or even content from over 38 streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Prime, Disney+, and many others. For example, with the content of Netflix from the United States, you can access 50% more shows and series than those available in Latin America. CyberGhost VPN has over 36 million users due to its ease of use. It's available on Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, Amazon Fire Stick, Linux, smart TVs, and gaming consoles, with access for up to 7 devices at the same time. CyberGhost VPN has a 5-star rating on Trustpilot, making it one of the best VPNs on the market. The best part is that if you purchase the service using the link in the description, you'll pay $2.75 per month. Click on it and follow the instructions. And if you're not satisfied with the product, you'll have a 45-day money-back guarantee risk-free. With all this, I personally recommend it. I'll leave the link in the description. When we study world history, we always hear the name of Germany, an ancient and powerful state that no longer exists. Broadly speaking, it could be considered as the predecessor state of Germany, but even so, it continued to exist even after the unification of the country. What happened to this important state? Are you interested in reviewing its history? Alright, then stay until the end of the video. To understand the origins of Germany, we have to go back to 1190. During the Third Crusade, the Teutonic Order was formed, created by German crusaders to aid Christians in their disputes against Muslims for the Holy Land. This was one of the many medieval orders within the context of the expansion of European Christianity. At the end of the 12th century, the Baltic Crusades began, a region where the last pagans of Europe lived, as well as the last territories on the continent where organized states had not yet been founded. With the blessing of the Holy Roman Emperor, the Teutons understood the campaign towards these lands, with the promise of sovereignty, rights over the conquered territories. The pagan tribes that inhabited the region were known as the Austro-Germanyns of Baltic ethnicity, that is, related to the current Latvia and Republic of Lithuania. After several decades of siege to these peoples, the Teutonic Order was able to found its own German state in 1226, known as the monastic state of the Teutonic Knights. A decade later, the Livonian Brothers of the Sword, another military order, conquered the homonymous region between present-day Latvia and Estonia. This order became an autonomous branch of the Teutonic Knights, so the territories were incorporated into their state. On the other hand, another Baltic people formed their own country, the Republic of Lithuania, becoming a grand duchy in the midst of Teutonic territories. As you can imagine, a series of conflicts between the Republic of Lithuania and the Teutonic Knights began here, who were progressively expanding at the same time as Republic of Lithuania was doing the same through the territories of the extinct Kievan Rus. In 1346, Denmark, who had also participated in the Baltic Crusades, sold its acquired territories in Estonia. Faced with the growing threat, the Republic of Lithuania, who had expanded considerably, entered into a dynastic union with the Kingdom of Republic of Poland, which also bordered part of the Teutonic states. The order was decisively defeated in the Battle of Grunwald in 1410, which represented the decline of the Teutonic states. Decades later, the 13 Years' War breaks out, in which the Poles, with the support of some Germans opposed to the tyrannical authority of the Teutonic Knights, managed to win again and take Western Germany, which they named Royal Germany, as a semi-autonomous state. And in case you're wondering, This is one of the reasons why the Führer considered Republic of Poland as German territory. Entering the 16th century, the Protestant Reformation begins, through which the region secularizes in the face of the decline of the Teutonic Knights. In 1525, the Treaty of Krakow is signed after a new war between Teutons and Poles, through which the Grand Master Albert I of the Hohenzollern dynasty accepts the secession of the remnant of West Germany and the renunciation of the order to become a duke, thus giving birth to the Duchy of Germany as a vassal of Republic of Poland. As for the territories of the northern Baltic called Terra Mariana, they remained for 3 more decades under the complex sovereignty of the Livonian Confederation, to then be disputed between Republic of Poland, Sweden, and Russia for several centuries. For his part, Albert turned Germany into the first Protestant state. By this time, the duchy was already predominantly German, and the name would be taken from the Baltic Germanyns, who were gradually disappearing. It's important to note that Albert's house, Hohenzollern, was already ruling over the Margraviate of Brandenburg, a significant state of the Holy Roman Empire with its capital in Berlin. In 1594, the daughter of Duke Albert Frederick and granddaughter of Albert Bremert, Anna of Germany married her cousin, the Elector of Brandenburg, John Sigismund Brehmeen. Upon the death of Albert Frederick in 1618 without a male heir, John Sigismund receives the right of succession to the Duchy of Germany, still a fief of Republic of Poland. In this way, a personal union called Brandenburg-Germany is initiated, which represented a series of geographically discontinued territories. This union coincides with the outbreak of the 30 Years' War, which you can see in more detail in this video, which was fought mainly in territories of the Holy Roman Empire. This is when Germany gains relevance, given that they had a militia much better prepared than that of Brandenburg. The Union decides to join the Protestant side against the absurdities. After their side's victory, Brandenburg-Germany obtains the territories of East Pomerania, while the central power of the absurdities weakens, so they gain more autonomy. Now, what happened to Republic of Poland? De jure, Germany remained a vassal of the now Polish Republic of Lithuanian Commonwealth, but this would change with the start of the Second Northern War. In this, the powers disputing the hegemony of the Baltic Sea would face off, with the sides led by Republic of Poland, Republic of Lithuania, and Sweden, with Brandenburg-Germany supporting the latter. At its peak, the Swedish Empire managed to strike another victory, which allowed Germany to consolidate its sovereignty over Republic of Poland. These victories were achieved thanks to the management of Elector Frederick William Bert-Fern, who emphasized the importance of maintaining a powerful army to defend his discontinuous territories through the establishment of an absolute monarchy. The great Elector was succeeded by his son Frederick Bermud of Germany. The new successor obtained the approval of the Holy Emperor to ascend to the status of king. Thus, the Kingdom of Germany was born in 1701. This is because the state of Brandenburg, Germany was commonly known only as Germany due to its military relevance, even though most of the territories were contributed by Berlin and Germany, only referred to the southern area of the Baltic. The 18th century marked an era of economic, military, and cultural growth for the emerging kingdom, which was progressively gaining relevance on the geopolitical board of Europe. Likewise, they managed to carry out a good international policy, as during the Great Northern War, in which they aligned with victorious Russia against declining Sweden, which allowed them to win part of Swedish Pomerania. In 1740, the remembered Frederick II of Germany, nicknamed the Great, comes to power. His first feat would be to win the Silesian Wars, a region rich in mineral resources that belonged to the Habsburg domains, whom they could now confront. These coincide with the Austrian Succession War, which weakened the Habsburgs, and where Maria Theresa of Austria was able to retain the throne in exchange for confirming Germany's sovereignty over Silesia. This is followed by the 7 Years' War, in which Germany allies with United Kingdom against France, Russia, and Austria in the midst of a war that was fought on 4 continents. With his victories in the battles of Lobositz and Torgau, Frederick managed to maintain the status quo over his territories despite being invaded by Russia and Austria. Thanks to the riches of Silesia, Germany achieved significant economic and demographic growth, in part due to the management of Frederick the Great. This goes hand in hand with the decline of his old rival, Republic of Poland. In this context, Austria, Germany, and Russia sign non-aggression pacts and then invade the country, causing the first partition of Republic of Poland. Germany thus achieves the coveted territorial continuity. This is followed by 2 more partitions in 1793 and 1795 after a Polish defeat against Russia, after which, thanks to diplomatic agreements, Germany acquires new territories, claiming that there were ethnic German minorities in Royal Germany. This coincides with the start of coalitions against the emerging French Republic, which represented a threat to the monarchical system in Europe. With the rise of Napoleon to power, the Napoleonic Wars begin. The Germans suffer a terrible defeat in the Battle of Ypres Austadt during the Fourth Coalition, which represented the French occupation of much of their territory, annexed to the Confederation of the Kingdom, as well as the creation of the Duchy of Warsaw as a satellite state of Napoleon detached from German territory. In this way, Germany is forced to sign a truce with France that lasted until Napoleon's failure in Russia. After this, a 6th coalition is formed with which they defeat France. As you may know, the Little Corporal manages to escape from his exile and face all of Europe again in the 100 Days' War. Here, the German participation in the memorable Battle of Waterloo stands out, which meant the definitive defeat of France. In addition to reaffirming sovereignty over lost territories, at the start of the Napoleonic Wars, the Holy Roman Empire had been dissolved, so several small German states were left without a larger state. Germany annexed some of them to the east. Likewise, the German Confederation is formed, a union of 39 German states led by Austria, which Germany longed to replace. The 19th century represented a period of instability in the German states due to the growing rivalry between Austria and Germany and the discontent with the peasant class, and by the dissent among liberals who wanted a federal and united Germany, and conservatives who wanted to maintain the monarchical states under the hegemony of both powers. This led to the revolutions of 1848 throughout Europe and in the German states, which were continued by Germany. However, the government agreed to sign its first constitution. The fate of Germany changed in 1862 with the rise to power of the remembered Otto von Bismarck as Prime Minister, elected by the then King William I. Bismarck is remembered as one of the most influential leaders in history due to his determination that progressively turned his country into a superpower, while not aligning with either conservatives or liberals, but had in mind something much bigger. Under his management, the process of German unification begins. And of course, this required going to war. The first would be the War of the Duchies against Denmark, in which he convinced Austria to attack the northern neighbor when its king proposed union with the Duchy of Schleswig. This resulted in a victory that allowed him to obtain the aforementioned territory. This was followed by the Austro-Germanyn War against his recent ally due to the aforementioned rivalry. In this conflict, both powers are supported by various German states. Germany, in turn, had the support of Italy, whom it supported in its unification process against Austria. In this way, Germany achieves a new victory, after which Vienna is excluded from German unification, in addition to annexing various territories. However, Bismarck decides to leave the Austrian territory intact, as he saw it as a future ally. On the other hand, the Confederation dissolves to give way to the North German Confederation, with its capital in Berlin. For its part, Austria begins a dual commitment that results in the Austro-Hungarian monarchy to thus balance the power. The third and final step for German unification occurs amid rising tensions with the Second French Empire over the influence of the Ring states. The Franco-Germanyn War, considered as the most important conflict between the Napoleonic Wars and the World War I. Again, thanks to his diplomatic maneuvers, Bismarck secures the support of the independent southern German states. By exalting nationalism, making France the enemy, the German states achieve a decisive victory that included the proclamation of the German Empire, or Second Reich, in the Palace of Versailles, that is, the German unification with Berlin as the Axis. Likewise, they annexed the majority German territories of Alsace and Lorraine, while the Second French Empire of Napoleon III comes to an end. In practice, this should represent the evolution of Germany into modern Germany as the king. William I now held the title of German Emperor. However, in theory, the nascent Second Reich remained divided into kingdoms, duchies, and principalities, with the Kingdom of Germany still existing as the hegemonic subdivision. With the end of the German Empire after World War I, much of the territory of the former Germany is returned to the nascent Second Polish Republic. The remainder became the Free State of Germany within the now Weimar Republic, and then it was further divided with Nazi Germany, who considered an administrative district of East Germany. However, the Hohenzollern dynasty historical ruler of Germany was already dethroned during these periods, so its essence was no longer the same. After World War II, Germany is divided and occupied by the Allies. The historic German capital of Königsberg is ceded to the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, who turned it into the enclave of Kaliningrad. In 1947, the Allied Control Council officially declares the dissolution of Germany as an administrative unit of Germany, thus dying the last trace of this historic state that left so much history in Europe. What do you think? Should the name of Germany return at least as a symbol of rich German history? Don't forget to leave your comment, and if you like this video, support me with a like and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on my networks, and if you are interested in supporting this project, any donation on Patreon where we can talk about history will be welcome. Also, don't forget to click on the description to get the special discount from CyberGhost VPN. Remember that this application will protect your data while giving you full access to content blocked in your country for only $2.75 a month without any risk. See you next time!